Welcome to the Get Fit Guys, quick and dirty tips to get moving and shape up. My name is Brock Armstrong and I'm the Get Fit Guy. You know what? It is easy to get lost in all the hype around new workout devices or new workout protocols that promise maximal results in minimal time. So, to help set the record straight, the marketing director for a device called CAR.O.L, Rahul Bernath, joined me to have a friendly debate. Before joining CAR.O.L, Rahul graduated from the University College of London with a first-class degree and worked with some of the UK's most valuable consumer brands in marketing and sales. The name of this rather innocuous-looking stationary bike stands for Cardiovascular Optimization Logic. That's where they get the CAR.O.L from. Now, CAR.O.L is an AI-powered interactive exercise bike with self-learning algorithms that took more than 4 years to actually develop. And the big selling point of CAR.O.L is that it automates each of your high-intensity interval training workouts and guides you through the perfect execution of each workout using biofeedback, a touchscreen, and audio prompts. Now, I had the opportunity to try out a CAR.O.L bike in person, and although I enjoyed the good workout that it gave me and I was intrigued by the device, I actually walked away with some mixed feelings. Now, those mixed feelings mostly focused around the claims that so many devices like these seem to elicit. Claims such as, CAR.O.L is clinically proven to give you the same cardio benefits of a 45-minute jog in under 9 minutes with only 40 seconds of hard work. So, instead of just griping about my feelings around this in private, I decided to have Rahul on the podcast to discuss it openly for everyone to hear. So civilized, right? All right, let's get into that conversation. All right, I am here with Rahul Bernath, who I actually had the opportunity to meet at one of those cool conferences where they had all kinds of neat devices and gear and stuff everywhere. And he was actually standing by a rather unassuming looking stationary bike, which actually turned out to be a lot more cool than it looked. So Rahul, welcome to the podcast.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. Really looking forward to having a quick and dirty conversation.
Yes, indeed.
So yeah, CAR.O.L is a exercise bike that's going to give you the same benefits of a 45-minute workout in just 2 20-second sprints. That's just 40 seconds of hard work. And you do that 3 times a week. And the research is showing that that is all you will need to do as a healthy adult to achieve your cardiovascular needs. And actually, we're seeing more and more research coming out to actually say, you're actually going to achieve more than that if you stick to it for longer. So you're going to be a super duper fit and healthy human being.
Now, okay, as anybody who listens to this podcast regularly will know that in the past, I have picked on high-intensity interval training and devices like these as being this savior and this panacea and being able to do just like 2 20-second sprints a few times a week and be, I believe you said, fit. Now, I don't want to be all pedantic and stuff like that, but I think we really need to, right off the bat, make a division between what I would consider to be a full body physical fitness against what I think you're talking about, which is more of like a biological fitness. Now, I know the website over at CAR.O.L Fit does a good job of explaining the benefits in terms of like getting better blood pressure and blood sugar and stuff like that. But can you explain what would be more of a healthy biological fitness, the kind of thing you're talking about?
So we really are talking about your cardiovascular health and your heart strength, right? So the ethos of CAR.O.L is like, look, as a company, we're not trying to take you away from the things that you enjoy. CAR.O.L was built because there are 80% of Americans don't get enough time to exercise, right? And they deprioritize exercise for other things that they think are more important in life, which is totally fair enough. And so what we're doing, which is completely different to a lot of other companies that we see out there today, is that we're not trying to take you away from the stuff that you love. We're not trying to tell you to not go to the bar, not go enjoy the popcorn at the cinema and do the stuff that you enjoy, which was enough to stop you from working out in the first place, right? Because people saw it as either one or the other. What we're saying is, look, do all that stuff, But just have a healthy heart, please, because if you have a healthy heart, you'd be so surprised at what your body will be able to go through. And going to what you're saying, Brock, about being biologically fit and being like a full body fit and healthy. Look, Carol's not going to build your muscles. So you are going to have to still work to increase your bone density. You are still going to have to work to build your muscle mass. That's still really important stuff. You're definitely going to need to have to work to, just to make yourself be able to endure longer bouts of exercise if that's what your lifestyle demands from you.
Sure.
But what Carol can give you, and what it is the most potent stimulus for on the planet, is increasing your cardiovascular health. And with this machine, you will have the healthiest heart you could possibly have. And of course, having a healthy heart does have other biological consequences. You will have better cholesterol in your body. Your triglyceride levels will be better. Your blood sugar levels, your blood insulin sensitivity will have increased. Your blood sugar levels will go down. These are all byproducts of having a healthy heart and essentially making you fitter. But you're right, it's different to being full body healthy fit. There are other aspects, of course, to your body that you need to look after as well.
Yeah. One thing that I'm hearing in terms of the benefits that you're getting from doing something like CAR.O.L Fit or those short, high intensity interval stuff is that if you've got those results that you're talking about, those wonderful results, and your cardiovascular fitness is raising and getting better, then you're probably more likely to actually go out and use your full body on some hikes or do some long walks or start doing some... I'm not a big advocate of having to go to the gym, but you could go to the gym 100%. As well. And doing those things that will then set you up for more of a longevity and full body mobility and all of that kind of stuff that we talk about in this podcast. So it really does work more in concert with the other stuff. It's not the one or the other kind of thing.
That's it.
Now, I fear that that's the message that gets perpetuated by the media when devices like CAR.O.L Fit comes out. They try to tell you that you don't have to do anything else. 20 seconds a couple of times a week and you will be good to go. So I'm sure, yeah, in certain realms of wellness, yeah, but not in others. So I'm really glad to hear you frame it in those terms.
Well, that's the thing, and what we say as well is like, look, you don't have to now go to the gym and run on the treadmill anymore. So that's a big tick. And for most people, they hate that stuff. So for that, Carol's going to do it. But like you said, if you want to do that, you want to do the longer exercise because it has also so many benefits, right? I was saying when I was working at Budweiser.
Oh yeah, we were talking before the podcast about you working at Budweiser and how you weren't exactly fit and were actually trying to fudge the numbers by doing things like putting your Fitbit on your gear shift of your car. But anyway, yeah, just so people know what you're talking about.
I was just the antithesis of what I am today. Now, I've signed up to military boot camps. I go on hikes. I go take these cold baths with my friends. We do all this cool stuff. Like we go to the lake, swimming in this ice cold water. We do this fun stuff, which never would have appealed to me. And, people say results are very motivating. And I have to admit, that's one thing that I found with the CAR.O.L, that I was seeing results really quickly. And something else I noticed was pretty cool that So the bike uses AI technology. It's not something we didn't say yet. The bike uses artificial intelligence to it reads your biometrics, and it will actually calculate the resistance that you need to work at for those 2 20-second sprints to guarantee that you're going to get results, right? And when you actually ride, and this is something I noticed, and I'm talking to loads of consumers, actually other people are like, yeah, dude, this is actually, I'm feeling this as well. If you were going to talk to a 5-year, 6-year-old me or previous year me working at Budweiser, and you said, what do you feel like when you go on the erg or the treadmill? I'd be like, dude, after half an hour, I just feel really tired. I don't feel good. I feel rubbish, and I just feel tired.
Yeah.
And the reason is because I wasn't pushing myself to get that endorphin rush. I wasn't, even at that half an hour, I was just pacing myself. I was going too easy on myself, and I was just like, I wasn't like getting a good workout in, and I wasn't seeing results consequently, right? So I was just feeling rubbish, tired, and I wasn't really achieving what I wanted to. So with the CAR.O.L, what I think is really cool for someone like me, who at least at the beginning did nothing, it kind of took control over that. And all I had to do was pedal really quickly when it told me to. And that is very easy to do for a layman. It's very easy to understand, okay, now it's time to pedal as fast as you can. And in fact, you pedal as fast as you can at the very beginning of the sprint against no resistance. And that's an opportunity for you to get to your max speed without any headwind whatsoever. And then the bike will apply the resistance. So then you go from to maximum intensity, and there's like kind of nothing you can really do about it. and after those sprints, like I get off the bike and I really feel like, damn, my legs are pumped. Like I feel like I got a really good workout. So then I began to realize, I was like, okay, so that's what the people, when they go to the gyms, I think that's kind of what they're feeling. I was like, oh, okay, I get it now. Like that's why all these people who do the marathons feel so great and they love it. Okay, now I'm going to start to see how I can add other things to my regime. And like you said, there are other things you've got to do to make you healthy, even emotionally, and just for mental de-stress, which is another huge thing I love out of longer bouts of exercise. So, it's just kind of like the gateway drug.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I like that. Now, you mentioned something about using the biometrics to actually increase the cadence and increase the resistance you're pedaling against. And I've written in the past about how we read these scientific studies, we read these articles about how beneficial high-intensity interval training is, but then we go out and we try to replicate those benefits and we try to execute it, but it's actually a lot harder than we think to actually do it to the point or do it correctly to get those benefits. Like things like you can't slowly ramp up to the high intensities. Like the CAR.O.L does that for you and adjusts it, because you've got to hit that percentage of your maximum output right off the bat to get those results that we're seeing in the scientific studies. So AI does seem like this crazy futuristic thing that we can only apply to algorithms on Netflix and Amazon. But in this case, it's actually ensuring that you're doing what they were doing in those scientific studies when they did the high intensity interval trainings to get those benefits. And it's really hard to do.
And I'm so glad you brought that up, because that's exactly what. So we say this is HIIT, right? Because to get those results that the people are talking about in the lab under highly controlled environments, when you leave those environments, it's actually almost impossible. And that is what research and definitely data collected in the real world shows. And it says, like, when you're going to go and swing, do 50 kettlebell thrusts, and then you're going to take a 5-minute break, and then, or whatever, like 20-second break, and then do another 50 thrusts, like, you're not really doing the maximum intensity. Like, can you imagine going absolute all out for 40 minutes? No way. And no one does it. They pace themselves. And then guess what happens when you pace yourself? You start to get tired. You start to think, then your brain gets in the way. And then just for so many reasons, the workout kind of breaks down. And like, I'm not saying that...
Well, or it becomes a different type of workout.
Exactly, but that's it. So I was just about to say, so I'm not saying they don't work. I'm not saying that you do these workouts and you're going to be fat and have no results whatsoever. Definitely not.
No, of course.
You are going to see results. And if you stick to it, for sure, like with anything in life, you're going to see results. But it's just going to take you longer to get there, quite frankly. And definitely for heart strength as well. Like, I can't say like for muscle building and then cognitive. We're going to put, like, let's park that thing for a second. But just for heart strength, it's just a slower way to achieve what you want. And of course, you run the risk of much greater risk of injury doing that stuff.
Yeah. And there is a booming industry right now of home exercise equipment, like not only the stationary bikes, which are really having a moment in the sun, but also like all kinds of like strength devices, treadmills, and things that connect you with classes all over the world. Now, do you have any advice for the listeners out there to figure out what device might actually be right for them? Like, should they actually be buying any device at all? Is that actually a focus for you guys to get one of these into everybody's home, or is it more diverse than that?
Thank you for asking, because look, the CAR.O.L bike is primarily designed for in-home use. That you don't actually sweat after you use the. If you're not sweating, then there's no reason why this thing isn't in your house, and you just do it before you walk out the door, or it's in your office and you do it while you're in your suit and you jump on, jump off, right? So we're not really targeting gyms. Yeah, we do have loads of gyms that work with us. So with that in mind, when I talk to some customers, especially earlier on in the year, where we were mainly purchased by high net worth individuals who were kind of, especially in some cases, they were kind of like trying to build an in-home gym, or they were just trying to update it and trying to do some stuff. We had those conversations about, what kind of gym equipment should you be having? Like, what do you want to buy? What are you trying to do? And ultimately, it kind of boiled down to what they were trying to achieve. Yeah. And then picking the best things for them based on their body type and who they were. And so, we found like definitely like younger guys would be better equipped for more aggressive types of training. And we found things that were probably gearing towards more on the weightlifting side, a bit more free weights, and getting some training tools that would push them closer to their maximum.
Yeah, sure. You want to match it with the individual.
For other people who were a bit more price sensitive, or they were just dipping their toes in, there were other things that they found. The key thing that I told them to watch out for, and which they definitely heeded my words on, was a lot of in-home gym equipment, especially in cardio, they have, you kind of buy the thing and then it just becomes an expensive coat hanger because cardio, for two reasons. One, cardio is, at least in my opinion, is kind of boring, especially if you're doing it in home, like running around outside, like fair enough. But I find in home it's a little bit dull. And also, like, I think this is like basic human psychology. It's kind of like the immediate gratification of cardio is just not apparent, right? If you're going to go do muscle training, and then as soon as you walk out of the gym, your muscles are going to be flexed, and you're going to be like, oh yeah, I feel great. Like cardio, you don't really see that. And it takes a lot longer to do it. So, people buy treadmills and that stuff, and then they have all the best intentions, and then they just kind of don't use it. And I urge people, when they're picking equipment in their home, to have an honest assessment of what price they're willing to pay for the results that they're after, and obviously to understand the results that they're after. And so price can be time. It can be, are they actually going to commit to it? Are they actually going to pay for expensive equipment? And then just have an assessment, and then, for example, let's say for an example where CAR.O.L would fit, right? It's like, if I'm not willing to invest 45 minutes 3 times a week on a treadmill to actually get mediocre cardio benefits, then but I really want the benefits, then okay, if it's the same price, why don't I buy a CAR.O.L that can do it in 80% less time? Then for that person, that might be cool. But if there's another guy who's like, oh, I'm training for a marathon and I need something that's going to really build my endurance, then maybe a treadmill is a better idea for the guy, because he has to, train his brain as well as loads of other things as training his heart. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what I was going to bring up, because I've got a bike trainer right behind me in the room, and because it's late fall here in Canada, I've already got my bike on the trainer, and I actually did a 90-minute ride this morning. But that is because I am riding to become a better cyclist and to keep my fitness up for cycling events and for cycling, not just for general health.
Exactly.
And then I have friends who have treadmills in their house, and they're the kind of people who are training for races like marathons and triathlons, and they really need to actually do those kinds of efforts.
Right. Yeah. I mean, just do ultimately, and this really is the crux of it. Look, you can do 1 or 2 CAR.O.L rides and then never do it again. And guess what? You will have had zero benefit. Yeah. The crux is finding something that you can stick to. And which is why my journey with CAR.O.L was so eye-opening to me, is because I found something I could stick to, and that then compounded to other things. So if you can stick to walking and you love it, or whatever you want to do, half an hour, as long as you're not sat down the whole time, if you can commit to even just having one of those walking desks, where you're like kind of on a treadmill while you're doing your work. Mm-hmm. If you can commit to stuff like that, then I say have at it. And then that's really great. That's really great. And like I said at the beginning of the conversation, like CAR.O.L was designed for people who don't commit to those kind of things. So if you have trouble committing to walking or running or doing these HIIT workouts in the gym. By the way, as a result, after doing CAR.O.L, I now subscribe to a military boot camp style training thing.
Oh, nice.
Which I can hear some of my friends in industry will be rolling their eyes thinking, dude, you don't need to do that. But I do it. I know I don't need to do it, but I do it because I enjoy it. And yeah, I'm probably detrimenting my body in some way, maybe overtraining or whatever.
No, maybe not.
I do it because I really like it, and I still do see results.
And you're moving different parts of your body.
That's true. Yeah.
Like I always say, if you're on a stationary bike, you're in a biomechanically limited, repetitive motion, because you're limited by the fact that you're sitting down, your skeleton is supported on the seat, your arms are pretty still. You're not using all the different parts of your body. So by doing that other stuff that you're doing, those military style boot camps, you're getting the benefits of doing all those different movements and the mobility and the agility and the balance and everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
And stationary bikes are not meant to be a full body workout. There's just no way for them to be so.
And you know what's funny? Like you don't build muscle with the CAR.O.L bike either, because it's so short. You don't actually build any muscle. All it's doing is wiping the glycogen that's stored in your thighs. That's literally it. I mean, we're just doing nothing else. I mean, it's just like, imagine like a clinical insertion, it's like we're just kind of doing one tiny little thing really, really well, but we're just doing that one tiny thing, boom, done. But for the rest of the 360, exactly as you said. I mean, it's kind of like, imagine if you were just going to do like bicep curls, or whatever, like one movement in the weight room over and over and over again. Yeah, you're going to be really strong at that one movement.
Sure.
But come any other angle, and you're going to be, weak as a weed. C.A.R.O.L will it's like a sniper to your heart. Yes, we're going to get that thing strong, but you still need to do the rest.
That is a wonderful way to wrap it up. I really like that message. Now, obviously, we can find the C.A.R.O.L Fit. Where can we find it? What's the URL?
If you go to carolfitai.com, CAROLFITAI.com.
Okay. And even if you're not interested in purchasing one right now, the website has some really good information and some studies and links and stuff. So go and check it out anyway. And I'll put some links in the show notes so you can find that.
Absolutely.
Now, you and I didn't talk about this before, but are you able to maybe give my listeners a little discount code or something like that? I'm sorry, I totally forgot to ask about that until just now.
I'm a generous guy, folks. So I tell you what, why don't we do the Get Fit 150 and you'll get $150 off if you use the code GetFit150.
That is awesome. And we didn't even discuss that ahead of time.
We actually didn't. We didn't. But definitely. If it means that somebody's going to take the plan, and I say this from my heart, right? If it means that somebody, because it means so much to me, the journey that I've been on. If it's a difference between someone saying, yeah, nah, not for me, or yeah, okay, you know what, I'm going to commit to getting a healthier heart, and yeah, you know what, screw it, I'm going to take the discount, I'm going to buy it. But dude, this lady, they're going to have improved their lives so much just by having a healthier heart, then it's definitely worth $150.
All right, one more time in case you missed it, you can go to shop.carolfitai.com and use the code GetFit150 to get $150 off a C.A.R.O.L bike. And you know what? I don't make any money from this. Quick and Dirty Tips doesn't make any money for this. This is simply a gift for you listeners out there who have been inspired to invest in your cardiovascular health. That's shop.carolfitai.com. Now, don't forget to tune in next week because I'm going to give you some really solid tips on how to keep your body moving during this busy holiday season. You're not going to want to miss that one. But until then, what are you waiting for? Get out there and choose your equipment with purpose.